for me.
Okay, connecting to cloud server says.
Okay.
Okay, you're good.
We're good.
We can computer.
Yep. Hello, everyone. Welcome to 2021. And this is the SIG ContribEx weekly meeting. I am your host, Bob Killen. As a general reminder for folks that might be new to the call, we abide by the CNCF Code of Conduct, which essentially boils down to please be excellent to each other. These calls are recorded and will be posted on the internet. But before we really kick off, would anyone like to volunteer as note taker?
I'm definitely helping, but I don't want the official title.
Okay. Well, if collectively we can jot down the notes, that's fine too.
Yeah.
With that, it looks like there's a bunch of people on the line. Do you just want to do a couple introductions?
Yeah, I see a lot of new people. Let's get some introductions out.
Yeah. George, why don't you start?
I'll start. So if you're new here, you feel a little bit more comfortable. I'm George Castro. I'm one of the co-chairs with Bob. I'm in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and I was at VMware. I recently left, and I'm starting a new gig on Monday, and we'll go into that probably a little later. But I'm happy to see so many new faces and familiar faces. So, Laura, why don't you reintroduce yourself to us?
I'll just bring my bouncy self to the meeting. How about that?
Yeah.
So my name is Laura Maria.
Wait, real quick. If no one wants to, if you don't feel comfortable introducing yourself and stuff, don't feel pressured to. Just like we would like to open the floor to let it be welcome. Sorry,
so
Laura,
much pressure. So much pressure.
Laura, do it right.
No, you're good. So my name is Laura Santa Maria. I am the developer advocate for LogDNA, and hopefully soon starting up a whole new org here at LogDNA. I haven't been back since March because my entire company went remote and then went, oh, we're going to have a meeting right over this meeting every single week. So I'm here. It's exciting. And you can always find me on Slack and try to ping me. But I will get back to you as soon as I humanly can. So, but I'm here. Oh, and I'm in Texas, Austin, Texas area.
So,
anybody else do you want to introduce themselves?
Sure. Hey, I'm Matt. I'm out of Minneapolis, Minnesota, and I am the lead of the subgroup for upstream marketing. And in a nutshell, we try to work on non-code contribution and help other contributors tell stories, get the word out when they need some help on grammar or writing. And if that interests you, come hang out with us on Fridays.
They also manage the contributor Twitter account.
Yeah, actually, Matt, I need you today, so I'm going to add you to the agenda.
I like being needed. Let's do that.
Yes. All right. Anybody else want to introduce themselves? First timers?
Sure. Hey, I'm Alex Handy. I'm not entirely a first timer. I just vanished for the entirety of 2020. I run the OpenShift blog for Red Hat and generally participate in the CNCF by writing things. And I see that I have joined the wrong meeting, but I'll hang out for another 20 minutes just to say hi. Because you all
quick assign them stuff. No, I'm just
kidding. No, go ahead. What do you got? I'll do whatever you need. What do you need?
I think we've actually cleared out the blog queue and all that stuff for now, but we'll see.
we should definitely talk blog. Well, yeah. Caitlin's not here, but maybe I don't know. Welcome.
Yeah. Okay, with that, let's kick into if anyone else interested before we kick off into our regular business.
Hi everyone, I'm Rodolfo Martinez from Mexico. I am software developer at Rackspace. This is my first meeting in the release meeting. And I recently applied for be Shadow in the next release team. Nice
welcome.
To meet you.
Awesome, welcome. Anyone else?
I think, no, never mind. I confused you with someone else. My bad. I thought I recognized you for a moment.
Hello.
Hello. I hear someone talking.
Oh, I can go next. I'm Lau, and I'm just still trying to learn how to contribute to Kubernetes. So I'm just hanging around to see what this meeting is for and see what I can learn
Awesome. Well, welcome. You've definitely come to the right place for, new contributors getting on board and all that other fun stuff.
Yeah.
That's sort of, right up our alley. You actually even have like a new contributor workshop that's being worked on, but we'll cover that one, later in the agenda.
Okay. Thanks.
For now, let's actually kick off into our sort of regularly scheduled program with events, office hours.
I should start planning for that this month. I'm going to try to continue to volunteer to do office hours. But I've been talking to Dan Pop and a little bit with Rocco, David McKay about maybe seeing if they're interested in running that for a bit. My time with Kubernetes is going to be limited, so I'm going to try to do like one thing for the community. So probably office hours, we'll see. But planning for that has not started. And that session will be exactly 2 weeks from now. So plenty of time on that. And then moving on to community meeting, the host for this January's community meeting, if you look at the planner, I'm just going to toss the URL now in here, and then I'll pretty it up later. This is the planning sheet. We have a 2021 draft schedule of who's going to go when. The thing is that this needs to sync with steering committee's reporting thing, where groups are going to like report to steering and CCKDev and do a bunch of stuff. You've seen Paris talking about it a lot. So there's the sheet. However, the very first meeting, it's still all the committees and SIG Arch going first, and we know that's going to happen. So we need to just do that. And I do believe that we have a host for January, which is, one second, which I can't find right now, but we did have a volunteer to do January. And if not, one of us can do it. I don't think it's that big of a deal since it's the committees and SIG Arch.
They mostly know what they're doing.
Yeah. So that's going to end up being 2 weeks from tomorrow. So I can't find who the volunteer is right now. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But I definitely have one written down somewhere. And everyone's free to welcome to look at the schedule that we have and kind of help us normalize with what steering committee wants reporting wise and what the governance actually says and whether we need to change that. There's been a lot last year. There was a lot of things where SIGs should have been reporting more, but the way the schedule worked out and cancellations, some SIGs actually ended up not reporting as much as they're supposed to in the governance. So that's kind of why steering and Paris are kind of trying to make the governance what it says and what we're actually doing to match. Because right now it's like, hey, when was the last time SIG reported anything? And it's like, I don't know. We have to go and look into this thing and things like that.
As a FYI, ContribEx also falls into that category. That
everyone's like 2020.
Yep.
Yeah. So we definitely need to shore that up. So if there's anyone interested in doing that, I will not be able to continue to be the sub-project owner for the community meeting. So I'm thinking a good idea what we did last time. Laura, almost exactly a year ago, we picked just basically 6 months worth of hosts. And we were able to kind of mitigate all of that. But there still needs to be a person who has run the meeting before that can effectively take my role, responding, okay, it's the first of the month. Who's the host? Make sure the host has everything they need. Kind of CC the other hosts so that everyone's supporting each other, all that kind of stuff. So that is an open task if there's anyone interested in squaring that away. The time investment is not that much because a lot of our hosts are self-supporting and we've really kind of over-documented a lot of this stuff. So the meeting kind of runs itself. So if you're looking for a way to step up your responsibility and glory in the project, this one is relatively runs itself.
So I can't actually make it to said meeting. I knew you were trying to hey, poke. No, I can't actually make it to said meeting because they've scheduled things all over it. Yeah. But if I can coordinate, if all that's really what's needed.
Yep, all the work happens
I can do
on
that
the
part
first
if
of the
somebody
month.
can just be there to help.
Yep.
Yeah, if somebody can just be there to help day of, I can help coordinate and make sure things work out.
Yep.
if
In
that's
fact, all
easier.
the work happens
So-
not at the meeting; it happens before.
I can do async. Async is definitely doable. So
Yeah.
sign me up.
And you were kind of doing it before, right? Where you remember you would mentor the
Well,
people
the
who
one
went
time I
after
got a
you.
chance to do it,
Yeah.
I tried to
right.
help, but then I got pulled into all the craziness with 2020. So
Yeah. But you also
do you expect?
rewrote a lot of the
But-
instructions, so don't sell yourself short.
I did.
That's
I
right.
did.
I
Anyway,
know.
yes, I'm more than happy to help
Yeah.
make things make sense. So,
Yeah.
And I see Allison also says can help. So
Yeah.
Cool.
we will figure this out.
We can sort that one out later. We'll fix it in post.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. I'm blabbing too much.
Oh no. It's all good. We
Yeah.
we don't have much for the agenda today anyway, as people are sort of like ramping up into things. With that, are there any other sort of community meeting questions?
We're editing the template again.
Oh yeah.
If you're in the notes, scroll down. We're editing the template accidentally. Sorry.
Okay. We'll just pop over to contributor summit then.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So, as you know, summit celebration, we left the Discord up for a bit longer so that people could exchange contact information or things like that. We removed everyone from the Discord over the weekend. All in all, we held the retro. It seemed to go pretty well. Whether we do one again is TBD. We were also poked about if we want to do a virtual contributor summit to go alongside KeepCon EU. Right now, I'm of the mindset that we don't want to do any sort of contributor-focused event alongside KeepCon unless it's an in-person one, just because it's a bit too much for everyone.
Plus 1,000, yes.
Yeah.
It was a lot of work. It was so fun, but it'd be less fun if we were trying to do that and talk.
Yeah. One of the things that I don't think a lot of people actually realize is how much work actually goes into, it is the same level of work as a summit, as an in-person event. There's a lot of work that goes into it. With that, the other thing is, although George is handling awards, he kind of stepped away for a sec. They should be going out soon. Just need to get one more address from someone. The other thing that we're going to do is we're going to create a directory probably in the root of K community that will contain sort of the history of all our awards. Right now, we don't have a history or a log of who's gotten awards when. So that'd probably be a good thing to have, especially, if someone does want to potentially reference it on, their resume or something like that. It'd be good to have a place where they're recognized more in official permanent capacity. I was just talking about the awards directory in K community. That's really it for the Contributor Summit follow-up. Does anyone else have any questions or comments? Okay. With that, we'll kick over into mentoring. I don't think Meet the Contributors is happening this month. Again, it's just, new thing. GSOC Outreachy LFX. Ihor, do you have any comments or updates?
No, not yet. We plan to kick off the new round of LFX mentorships later this quarter, but it's still in a planning stage. The same as Google Summer of Code. So Google Summer of Code CNCF is planning to participate in this program this year, but some updates coming soon. Also, I have to mention that Google Summer of Code is significantly updating the program itself. That Google is significantly updating the Google Summer of Code program this year. So probably we'll face some more significant updates in our participation plans as well. But again, once we'll have more details, I'll keep us updated.
Cool. Thank you. New contributor workshop. Josh, did many people actually show up to the meeting on Monday? I wound up being like stuck walking the, I was late from getting back from walking the dog.
Yeah, a few people did, but we didn't really focus on the NCW because we had people showing up for other reasons. Since that is currently our only mentoring meeting.
Yeah.
So, including we had somebody showing up looking for mentoring, which was fun. So,
Oh man.
So, we'll need to push on with that. I'm actually, since as far as I know, Marky's still out, I think I'm actually going to just drop something on the calendar for a European-friendly mentoring meeting time slot.
Yeah, that's
because the attempt to find one that works for everybody doesn't seem to be happening.
It gets like some progress and then just dies.
Yeah. So, so I might drop it on the calendar probably immediately preceding this meeting because that's a blank spot in my personal calendar, and I know that at least I can make it every week. Beyond that, it's kind of where it's been. Various people are working on various components, but without any particular deadline expected. Yeah. I should talk to you in Slack about putting stuff into the contributor website. Because we had the question again of locations of where to drop materials.
Okay. That I can definitely help with. I thought we were going to dump it under the docs, and I forget I'd have to go back and look at the notes for what we were going to call the directory and call the page. But yeah, like it shouldn't be too hard. We can take care of that one pretty quick. The other big thing is, I know, like, my personal goal is to try and get the new contributor workshop done by at least the end of this quarter or the end of the 1.21 release. I was hoping to put more effort into it last year. I know a bunch of people were too, but honestly, the end of the year, KubeCon and the contributor celebration took a lot of people's time too, and I think that's where people's focus has changed.
Mostly the story of 2020 is extra responsibilities that people took on just didn't get done.
Yeah.
Because everybody was too stressed out.
Yep.
So hopefully that will change this year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. With that, is there any other sort of mentoring comments or notes? Okay. Community management, do you need to know chair's email? There's one item that I can think of to go on there that's probably going to come up anyway in the chair TL meeting, and that is the change to the enhancements workflow and the PRR approvers. You might have seen some noise on that on KDev. The long story short, a comment period was done, but it was done over, part of December where a lot of people weren't actually paying attention to, KDev. So we're hitting the redo button on that one a little bit, and that'll be discussed probably next week. Are there any other items that people can think of for the need to know chair TL email at this point in time? Okay. Let's see. Are there any other community management type things to talk about right now? Cool. DevStats, I don't see Lori on the line. She did post a link in the SIG ContribEx chat to some of the persona stuff. I know we want to collectively want to talk to the CNCF and about some of that stuff probably towards the later end of this month. Sort of, I don't know, Ihor, if you've been paying attention to any of that, but the sort of TLDR is just like a lot of the boards actually aren't super useful just because like the repo group mapping doesn't actually like equate to what we are in terms of like SIGs. So there's just some changes to some of the boards that would make them significantly more useful from a lot of different personas. We will also actually be, once we have those useful boards, they'll be embedded into the contributor site. There's a whip preview available over there. I can look in a sec.
Okay. Are there a set of issues for those?
For the revisiting the boards?
For changes to the boards.
I don't know if there's an actual issue for it. There's a bunch of documents for it.
Okay.
I'd have to go back and look. I don't know what it is, if there is one off the top of my head.
Yeah, I'd recommend creating an issue for each board that you want to change.
Yeah, the plan will be to have a small discussion first, and then an issue will be created in the in the DevStats repo for them. Oh my God, come on. Yeah, so this, I'll drop a link in here, I'll put in the notes. If you want to see what sort of the embedded dashboards look like, I just dropped a link in there. Since it's essentially just embedding an iframe, but there's a few different little things you got to do it.
This looks amazing, Bob. Nice. I mean, I like Grafana as much as the next former ops person, but it's great to have a website URL to navigate to.
Yeah, the main thing is like we will then be able to provide our own notes on comments on how to use it and how to interpret the data from it. It's honestly like super easy to embed. You just got to do there's a few wonkiness things with sizing and things like that. Are there any other comments regarding DevStats? Okay, marketing.
Hey y'all, fun thing from marketing. We had a really, I'll call it an epiphany. We had a nice end of year conversation, and when we were reframing what matters most to us, the theme arose for this year of, elevating community stories. That's always been a core of it, but we have like some specific ideas in mind, and then promoting non-code contribution by sharing those stories. The two things we're doing at the moment is everyone that's been active in the marketing team, we're asking to write a first-person narrative of how they contribute, how they find time in their day to contribute, whether it's related to their job or not, what are the little things and how do they think about themselves as a contributor. And once we get a couple of those out, we're going to use those as examples of how other people can contribute to write up those stories. So that's kind of the core campaign we're gonna hit from the very beginning of this year. And something to talk more to you, Bob, about is I think it would be cool if that is the type of narrative we do on the dev site blog, as opposed to the .io blog. Maybe we can do roll-ups on .io now and again of like, look at these 5 stories of how to contribute. But like, if we keep like a really quick
that is honestly sort of the content that I wanted to get on there. The one thing that we want to do is, and we did this with the contributing to the developer guide, was to actually post to both, but cross links that way, because like one of the big problems is that there's a huge discovery issue with the contributor site.
Totally.
So by essentially any links that we can get from the main site to the contributor site, the better. And there's a tag or something you can embed to that like helps helps with that. The docs team knows it.
Oh, I want to hear that. Yeah. Where should we follow up on that, just to document what our publication process steps are? I could join a docs meeting, or let's start in a DM.
We can start. It's just like I can show you once I pull up the post, I can show you the little thingy in there, and it's coordinating with the blog team on publishing it.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, and we'll double check. I'll double check with my SEO team and my work side of like best practices to not actually lose SEO. We're pretty sure publishing at the same time in two places is kosher, but I think there's some metadata to add to make sure.
Yep,
it's clear to Google that it's consensual.
That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah,
at least I think I was.
All right,
I actually wouldn't mind.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind actually again, this can be done later, a larger SEO discussion on boosting the contributor site.
Yeah, I would love that. So link building 101 it's about my skill level on link building, but I've done a lot of it in a healthy way. I think we add so much value, it shouldn't be too bad. Let's talk about that. That would be another fun campaign for the year. Good. And then the other thing on our mind is getting the word out. I think the fact that we exist is drawing some usefulness out. So we did a talk at the most recent KubeCon. We wanted to propose one to the maintainer track of the next one, but I wanted to double check with you all. My impression is that we can only submit one talk idea per SIG, and I didn't know as a subgroup whether that counts for contribute.
So that would, but can probably talk to see about getting a little bit more leeway in that area.
For sure, because it's a cross-cutting thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The CNCF has been pretty, especially with the virtual event side, where you can have a bit more. You aren't blocked by specific rooms and all that.
Cool.
There's a little bit more
early.
Yeah. And the deadline for the maintainer track is, I believe, February 7th.
Right.
Submissions.
Yeah. And okay, great. And is anyone planning to do it for ContribEx itself?
Yeah, we're going to be doing essentially our annual roll up of Intro to ContribEx.
Great. Okay, great. All right. We'll follow up on that. But yeah, that's the overview of what's on our mind so far, and we'll get into more of it on Friday.
Cool. With that, are there any other questions for the marketing team?
I have marketing stuff. Do you want me to do it at the end or now? Up to you.
It can be done now. If it's not
okay. Matt, we have the sheet of all the award winners from the contributor celebration. But I don't see you're on there and I can't invite you. Can you ping Cody to let you in? I can't share it with everyone because people's personal addresses are in there. We have all the addresses for everyone and we're going to ship out their awards. What I would need your expertise in is all of the reasons for giving the awards the SIG chairs gave us. So we're going through and making them a little bit consistent, removing spelling mistakes. It says winner, Jane Containerface, for your outstanding contributions to SIG CLI and stuff. So we're just rewording those to be an active voice, all that English kind of stuff. So if you can look at that, I would really love to tell Deb it got the stamp of approval from your team.
Fine.
Which I don't care if it's you personally, whichever one of you all wants to do that. Yeah. And just give us a thumbs up. And then we are going to send those out hopefully tomorrow. Well, as soon as you give us the rubber stamp. Pro tip for the group. They are sending in stuff to China in the future. Remember, always ask about China before you pick a vendor. We got lucky this time. So that's all set. And also, I think we talked about a blog post from marketing with all those people's names. All of their names and all their information is in that sheet. So you should probably have access to it. And that's all I have.
Perfect. Thanks. George, I'm just going to, which Cody?
Cody, the Cody I did the Cody C. Crudgeon.
Yeah, Cody. Yeah.
Cool.
I'll just tell him Ping Broberg.
Cody C. Yeah, I
today, would you? Did you find him?
Yeah. I'll
okay, gotcha.
Him right.
Yeah. The reason I want to do
Okay.
the blog post is a
Mhm.
lot of people, when I asked for their address, weren't able to come to the event and didn't see the video, so they didn't know they won an award. So I
Oh,
think we should
wow.
put it on the blog post as like a
Yeah.
public record. Yeah.
Yeah. One other thing we should do if we're going to have a blog post about it is we should probably have the repot, like, you know, the Place in K community for them as well first, so we can permanently link back to that as well.
Yeah. Ping me when you want to work on that, Matt. I want to work with you on that. Just a little
Great.
awards thing, because we have to go back and watch the videos of the old awards because I don't remember who got them, but we definitely have this list, and we should just have a running tally of all the awards that we've ever given out, because that's just awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, cool. Let's put the pieces together.
All right,
Great.
sweet. Hey, no pressure, but I start a new job on Monday, so like, find me sooner rather than later. All right.
Understood.
No pressure.
Okay. Is there any other questions, comments for the marketing team? Okay, contributor docs. I don't think there's really too many updates here. Honestly, I can't think of really. Actually, there is one update. This silently went live. I will drop a link in the notes. But one of the things that we've been, sorry, that we get a lot of questions about is the various things and where people can go. Like, you know, I need a repo, I need a Slack channel, whatever. So we've now added a short link that's just it links out to every other place and tells you like where to actually, like, you know, I need a repo, go here. I need a Slack channel, go here. I need funding, go here. So if people have those questions, please just, you know, go ahead and share that URL. But other than that, I can't think of any like other big stuff in the docs area. Any questions, comments about that?
I just think it's great, and I'll bring it up on Friday to do a little campaign of sending them out.
Cool.
Like, tweeting it regularly for a few weeks.
Thank you. GitHub management. I have no updates here. Nikita, Ihor, I don't think there's any other updates on the GitHub side,
Nothing
right?
in particular right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a silent time.
I will actually say one little note. This doesn't have to necessarily go in the notes, but we shouldn't have any more issues with GitHub and during releases for various other problems. That has been resolved at this point. I'll have a comment about it all when it's not recording. Okay, Slack infra. I don't think there's any updates.
It wasn't working on Monday.
Outside of, you know, Slack going down for a bit.
Free day off. Sorry.
They got to preemptively scale up their auto scaling group.
Yeah.
And that will take us to open mic discussion.
Who put this item here, the async one?
That was me.
Okay, Bob.
So we've been talking about this, and we did it a little bit with the contributor celebration. But one thought, like, that was tossing around, and I know like VMware has done a little bit of this stuff internally, is instead of having, like, I would like to try an experiment where we basically take each agenda topic, like high level topic, like events, or, you know, GitHub management, and it basically gets turned into a Slack thread. And if people have specific comments about that, they can post in the Slack thread that they want to post in. And we did this for the contributor celebration, and it actually worked really, really well when we were using it, because we had like the people that were helping with the summit were either like APAC and EU, and then just a few of us on the East Coast. And like our meeting was at like 7 a.m. Eastern time, but it pretty much makes it impossible for anyone on the West Coast to join. But that strategy did work out pretty well. And the idea being is after, you know, each thing has a Slack thread, we can literally copy and paste the Slack thread with a little bit of editing and turn that into the notes and send it to the list.
Mm.
We wouldn't do this for like every meeting, but I was thinking as like a start, maybe try doing it for ContribEx like every other meeting. So we sort of go back to our biweekly cadence, but then like, Tuesday morning, one of us will just create all those thread messages in the Slack channel. And, we essentially Wednesday evening, consolidate all that up and send out a thing to the list. Does that sound sort of like, what are people's thoughts on that idea? Any comments about it, questions? I see the clapping and thumbs up.
Yeah. One thing I wish we would do also as well, in hindsight, we should have done better, is use the list more.
Yep.
We should definitely get used to that asynchronous part. I know everyone loves Slack and stuff, but like, we owe it to our future selves to also use the list. Like,
to be frank, and this is also like mostly like a lot of this is on me, where we came to a lot of decisions in the meetings here.
Yeah.
And we didn't follow up with the list.
Yep.
And we should have followed up with the list.
And it's in the charter. We actually have to do that.
Yeah.
We need to be better at that. That's just 2020 isms.
Yeah. And there is a Twitter thread on it today. Synchronous communication is great, but it's not, there's all sorts of other issues with it. So yeah, thinking about starting that, probably either later this month or beginning of next month to see what do.
I totally respect it. I think we should give it a go. I'm not suggesting we do this, but the thought that went through my head, just full disclosure, is that like we're trying to span this asynchronous synchronous communication gap, which is like really what discourse is. Discourse, not Discord. Discourse is ideal at, and having that optional email on top of it is something people can configure themselves. That said, it's very clear as of today, our default channels are Slack and KDev. So we should respect that and invest in those. But like, I see a future where maybe we lean less on meetings, and maybe that is like, if Slack doesn't end up feeling like the right place, maybe that is like the gap that discourse could actually fill quite nicely.
So
I really like that platform. So
Bob and I have been talking about this every day.
Yeah.
we have a discourse.
Yeah.
I know. But there's no reason to get people to go there until it's the place to go.
Right.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
No one uses it. I should say the contributor base doesn't use it.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
And I'd say like we've fallen into a thing that every community I'm a part of like ends up doing. Like we've doubled up on core channels. And so like people are just going to gravitate where people gravitate to. And it's because like we haven't clearly demarcated synchronous, asynchronous, and the value of each and when to use them. Too many options. Totally okay, totally normal, and we'll go with the path of least resistance for now, but maybe we can intentionally design tomorrow.
Yeah, we will.
I'll get off my soapbox real quick. Hold on.
It's okay.
Right.
I
Realistically, discourse is only going to become significant if we shut down Slack.
Or
Discord, you mean, right?
No, just discourse.
Whichever.
Yeah.
Any alternative is only going to become significant if we announce that we're terminating Slack.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And
or we suddenly have to get off the Google Groups mailing list.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah.
And everything could be API driven. It's beautiful. I sit here and think about all these things also, Matt. About how much everything could be. We could force ACLs with GitHub login. It's so awesome.
It'd be so awesome.
I know. I hear you, but inertia, man.
Yeah, and rightfully so. Like people are here to have fun, and choosing like having too many questions on where to post something is not fun.
Yeah.
Like we
essentially have to meet people where they'll actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we were talking about this morning is we could do months and months worth of work and do a lateral move, right? Like I don't like Slack, but is it worth the amount of work to move away from Slack? I don't know. There's like 100,000 people in there. That's why I'm always kind of like, I really love these new tools and everything that we're using, but at the same time, it's like, oh, like we could
I
barely keep our head
feel-
above water in some cases, you know?
Communication tools don't overcome the problem, which is people putting things of value in like an ephemeral like messaging thing. Like a good quote like is Slack should be passed by reference, not passed by value. So you put a reference to something inside Slack, but you should never have that key information in there. Otherwise it's just like lost forever in the ether. You're like trying to like search through Slack for this message that was like 2 weeks ago and you're like,
yeah, and that's how you end up with 9 or 20 things pinned in a channel because you're trying to. Yeah, I get it. I hear you.
Yeah.
And their search has also gotten worse as of late, but that just makes it more interesting to hunt those things down. Not saying GitHub search is any better for things that isn't necessarily. Yeah. More rants.
Well said.
Yep.
We're still recording? Oh yeah.
Yes, we are still recording at this point in time. Are there any other comments regarding asynchronous communication and ContribEx and what's other fun stuff? Okay. Are there any other agenda items that people want to talk about? On the record.
Hi, I have some questions.
Ooh, yeah.
So, like the meet our contributors, I'm not sure if that's still going on because just now I went to the Slack and like no meeting link was posted and the YouTube didn't have any live stream. So I just want to ask if that thing is still going on or.
So I know there wasn't any for December or January. I don't know if it's current status it's going to pick back up again. There was one of the things that has also picked up, while it's not necessarily like live streamed, many of the SIGs are doing their own specific office hours type thing. So if you know like a specific area that you're interested in, like cluster lifecycle or API machinery or one of the other things, there's actually a list of the office hours in our mentoring docs that I'll grab a link to really quick. But if there's a specific SIG that you're interested in, I would highly recommend hopping into one. Yeah, here we go.
Oh, okay.
And I know more SIGs are interested in potentially starting these just general office hours. And they're really a great place if you have like specific questions or looking to get help on a PR. But again, that is a bit more like SIG specific. And really, if you just sort of like know what area you're sort of interested in starting to contribute to in the first place.
Okay, because I'm looking on a simple place to start with, and I think SIG CLI is probably a good place to start with because they have a lot of good first issues. I think I brought it up on the mentoring meeting on Monday, so just wonder like if I like hit a wall or if I have any problem, is there anyone I can?
Feel free to. You can honestly just like ask in the SIG ContribEx channel, and there's a whole slew of people there that will sort of like help you and direct you to the right place. I also know like Eddie Zane has been like really good about getting some of those issues together and helping people onboard into CLI. So he might be another person to ping if you're interested in that sort of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to see. SIG CLI does not have office hours, but the regular SIG meetings is in the They have a bug scrub, and then they have their
Yeah.
regular SIG meeting as well.
Yeah, I would if you're interested in CLI, I would definitely give like Eddie a ping.
Yeah, I would just
and-
ping him
and-
directly. Yeah.
And he should be able to, help you get going in that area. He
Okay.
also helped organize the SIG CLI Hacktoberfest issues.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Sure.
I happen to be talking to him today. I'll let him know.
Yeah. And again, if you have like any other questions or have run into any problems, please feel free to just like ask in the general SIG ContribEx channel, and one of us on the call or one of the many other people that sort of just hang out in there will sort of like help you get to the right place.
Okay. Because I think I was asking if there's any mentoring program, because I saw the contributor ladder grow, and I was interested in that, and I asked in the meet our contributor channel, and like nobody replied. So I just thought that channel like stopped somehow or something.
As far as like the general like mentorship programs,
Yeah.
there isn't any specific program that's really sort of going right now. There is a group mentoring cohort going for SIG Node, but they are like sort of like on the tail end of wrapping that down.
Okay.
Most of the group mentoring initiatives are like for specific SIGs and getting going like in a specific area within that SIG. And they do involve like there's like a significant upfront investment in getting that up and going. And not many SIGs are sort of like in a place to sort of get that going at this point in time. I know that will hopefully be changing here for 2021 as we sort of ramp up in some of these other areas. And then we'll also have the like for people that are just getting started, we'll hopefully have the like new contributor workshop available in digital form on the contributor site.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Sure. By the way, I'm Mr. Bobby Tables in Slack. You can just like
Yeah.
at me in the channel or like DM me directly if you want.
Yeah, if you have general questions, just ask them in the ContribEx channel, because the entire purpose of that channel is to make sure you find the place you need to go. So don't feel embarrassed if you're asking questions that seem simple. A lot of this stuff is failures on our part. It's just we should have better structures in place. I'm sorry.
Yeah, fine. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sure. Do you have any other questions, or does anyone else have any questions or comments?
I have a quick one. Eddie Zane says he can't get his calendar invites for the leads because he's a lead in SIG CLI, but he's a member of the list. Any idea what could be the problem there?
That we'll have to troubleshoot later.
Okay, gotcha. I'll offline that.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions, comments, or issues? Okay. We'll wrap it up there. And yay, first meeting of 2021. Let's hope that's better than everything in 2020.
No one picked a fire background, so that's good. Alice is
Yep.
growing trees and stuff.
Trees.
Everyone's all happy. Nice.
Leave the dumpster fires in 2020.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, everyone.